am Hector, the eldest son of Priam, king of Troy. I present this account not as a personal memoir, but as a record of how the Trojan War began, how it endured, and how it came to an end. For the destruction of Troy was not sudden, but the result of a long process. It lay on major trade routes, its harbors were active, and its walls had been built with the experience of generations. The people felt secure. This stability was disrupted when Paris brought Helen from Sparta. Personal decision turned into a political crisis that bound the entire city. The Greek kings regarded this act as an insult. Under the leadership of Agamemnon, a great army was assembled. When their fleet reached our shores, it became clear that this would not be a brief conflict, but a prolonged siege. In the early years of the war, fighting was limited and orderly. The two sides met on open ground and withdrew to their camps at night. War had not yet consumed all aspects of life. During this period, Troy's defense was disciplined, and the walls proved effective. Whenever he entered the battle, the Trojan lines were strained. For this reason, avoiding direct confrontation with him became a fundamental principle of our defense. As time passed, the war grew harsher. Losses increased, captives became more numerous, and the fighting began to affect not only soldiers, but civilians as well. The prolonged conflict weakened the internal order of both Troy and the Greek army. When Achilles withdrew from battle because of his dispute with Agamemnon, the Greek forces were temporarily weakened. During this period, Troy launched counterattacks and advanced as far as the Greek camp. However, this advantage did not last. The death of Patroclus brought Achilles back into the war. With his return, the fighting became more destructive. The rules of open warfare disappeared, and fear spread among the Trojan soldiers. At this stage, my encounter with Achilles was unavoidable. Remaining within the city would have led to the collapse of morale. For this reason, I fought before the walls and was defeated. After my death, Troy's defense continued, but its central command was lost. After Hector's death, Troy continued to resist, but its defense became fragmented. Its group sought to protect its own area. This weakened the city's military cohesion. The prolonged siege also exhausted the Greek army. The desire for a decisive outcome grew stronger. Under these conditions, the plan of the wooden horse was devised. This plan was psychological rather than purely military. After years of war, the Trojans wanted to believe that the conflict had ended. Despite warnings, the horse was brought into the city. When the night attack began, the city was unprepared. Greek soldiers opened the gates, and the army entered. Resistance could not be organized. Authority collapsed. The royal family was scattered, and the temples were not protected. That night, Troy came to an end, not only militarily, but also politically and socially. The survivors were taken captive, and the city was emptied. Troy ceased to be a living center. The Greeks captured Troy, but the war also disrupted their own order. The disasters they suffered on their return journey revealed the heavy cost of this victory. The Trojan War was not the result of a single event, but of a long process of attrition. It was a conflict with no true victor. Its destruction encompassed both sides. I am Hector. I saw this clearly. The fall of Troy occurred in a single night, but its collapse took many years.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new and hidden secrets.